And those who have settled in Trivandrum wouldn't want to move out also because the air is cleaner and it's a bit more, it is less congested and certainly less mosquitoes than Kochi. Other symptom youth leaving the state, the opportunities outside. അത് വെച്ച് നോക്കുമ്പോൾ they don't see a future in Kerala. അതൊരു വസ്തുതയാണ്. If you look at these two cities, you're asking which is growing faster. Kochi is growing faster because there is more demand for Kochi if given an option. We don't need to necessarily oblige by that. We can say that these positions are for this. And so particularly youngsters would prefer Kochi. But we also have noticed the tendency that when you are a family and school-going children, then Trivandrum may be a bit more attractive. And those who have settled in Trivandrum wouldn't want to move out also because the air is cleaner and it's a bit more, it is less congested perhaps than Kochi and certainly less mosquitoes than Kochi.
And waste. How is waste compared to
No, Trivandrum is much better. Yeah. No, we have to do quite a bit.
What do you think?
So
that people in the positions will hear you.
So in my view, no further research and development is needed on waste, what to do. I think at least 100 volume of such reports are written already. We have to have a professional waste management competence and capability here. Somebody who has done it, and we should entrust that responsibility, and we should make sure that they have a scheme whereby they will get their payment without actually going through any of the hurdles. That's the reason why professional companies will not come, because their payments will get into difficulty and things like that. Think about it. We are very similar to Singapore in terms of even our food habits. So the kind of waste that we produce also should be something similar. And if Tokyo, 24 million people, and if Singapore can do so, well, it's very congested. We should be able to do it. And reducing the waste is a philosophy, it's good, but you have to have centralized waste management because we will end up producing waste and that has to be disposed. If waste is collected and if every household can segregate the waste and you just give some, and basic education is needed, and it should be as automated as possible and it should be completely professionally done. I was involved in doing, or at least facilitating, there are companies which can do, professional companies, not startups and all kinds of stuff. No, this is heavy lifting. And people who have done it in the past, they have the financial muscle as well as the engineering muscle. They should be handed over and nobody should interfere. If we allow all the LSGDs to interfere, it will not work. So you have to come up with a scheme which will insulate them from, but at the same time, they are accountable. And that's what we should do. If you don't have that kind of a setup, and assuming the distributed waste management has limitations, and honestly speaking, that is what we see now. Everybody is distributing the waste. So distributed waste management can reduce the size of the waste, and sometimes that will work against because a minimum level of waste is needed for waste to energy and such things to happen. So if you ask me, what is it that the corporation should pay attention? Number one is waste management. Number two is transportation here, the local transportation. Number three is drinking water. If you just take these three, transportation, that means like Trivandrum did that almost 20 years back, we gave to Punch Lloyd. We have a footpath everywhere. Every road has a footpath. Every road is fully done. There is no space where You leave that dirt for it to recycle and make everybody green and grey. So those roads are beautifully done, if you have seen it. And it was also done in such a manner, a lot of credit to our secretary, PWD, Babu Jacob at that time. So he has also given it for 15 years of maintenance. Punjaloid itself should maintain. Here also, if we can get our roads, get the roads right, get the waste done, and we'll end up saving also a lot of money, because how much money are we spending because people fall sick so often?
Agencies ഉണ്ട്, ഒരു GCD ഉണ്ട്, കോർപ്പറേഷൻ ഉണ്ട്, പിന്നെ എറണാകുളത്ത് എല്ലാം തൃപ്പൂണിത്തുറയുണ്ട്, കളമശ്ശേരിയുണ്ട്, തൃക്കാക്കരയുണ്ട്, തൃക്കാക്കര. So a lot of different MSGDs, and it's one big.
That in itself is a big dilution of accountability.
ഒരു കാര്യം ചോദിക്കാനുള്ളത്, ഈ ഇപ്പം സ്കിൽസ് ഫോർ IT education.
Yeah.
And now it's now fast.
Yeah.
We don't know, as
Yeah.
sector, we don't know what kind of jobs my kids
Yeah,
would
yeah.
get and what. So you are in a situation where how to skill people, or you don't know what kind of jobs would be emerging now in the 5 years from now. Things are going fast. And so, sir, as far as IBS is concerned, or what would be your advice? Because with the higher education, like IT and education, they are not equipped to teach our kids and what's happening now, because it's all still it's all outdated. It's time for a revision. Second one, another people are moving out of the country for.
Yeah.
So what's your perspective on these two aspects?
So in terms of
future jobs and
future of jobs and future of skills, future of talent, actually the question is the future of talent. Part of it will be addressed by the companies themselves. We will not expect the academic institutions to be equipping the children, the students with all the skills that will be needed, which are changing so fast. So every company has, and this is where small companies will struggle a little bit. Every company has the responsibility to upskill and make sure that your workforce has the talent needed. Second part, we are doing it, actively doing it. The industry has a responsibility, and so also the academia has a responsibility to have much better linkage. And the academic autonomy of some of the colleges, if not most of the colleges, is important, so that they can be agile to upgrade their skills and the syllabuses. Like for Rajagiri, they are autonomous. Saint Kitts, autonomous. Mar Baselios in Trivandrum, autonomous. They can have their own. So we are very actively getting involved. Industry is actively getting involved with the academia, and help them and tell them, create the roadmap of the curriculum. Do you understand? So, and what is encouraging is that they are very, very open to doing it. So for them, such an interaction, the advantage is that they will get the roadmap of the curriculum, which will be good for us. For us, how do you enhance the employability of this, the boys and girls coming out of the university? So this is one part. You asked another question. We have a lot of youth leaving the state. So other symptom, youth leaving the state. Youth leaving the state not only for education, in the pretext of education, they are going, and they basically would like to take up jobs outside. And what is the reason for it? And particularly if I take Kerala, and the reason is with all the exposure that they have, with what possibilities exist outside, they have the opportunities outside. Adu vechu nokkumbo, they don't see a future in Kerala. Adoru vastudayanu. അത് നമ്മൾ മറച്ചു പിടിച്ചിട്ട് കാര്യമില്ല. And our parents, if you look at, they don't say no to it, and in a way they agree to it. And that is the reason why people are going out. Education, that is one of the best ways to get to an overseas location and look at opportunities. And other, നമ്മളിപ്പം എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻ ലോണൊക്കെ കുറച്ച് വളരെ ഈസി ആയിട്ട് ആക്സസിബിൾ ആയതുകൊണ്ട്, ആൻഡ് ദെൻ ഏജൻസീസ് വിൽ മാനേജ് ദ ഹോൾ തിങ്. യു ജസ്റ്റ് പ്രസൻറ്റ് യുവർ സെൽഫ് ആൻഡ് ദേ വിൽ ടേക്ക് കെയർ ഓഫ് ദി അഡ്മിഷൻ പ്ലസ് എവറിത്തിങ് ഇൻക്ലൂഡിങ് ദ ലോൺ ആൻഡ് ഫെസിലിറ്റേറ്റ്. ഇതൊരിക്കലും ഒരു നല്ല ടെൻഡൻസി അല്ല. വൈൽസ്റ്റ് വി know why boys and girls go, and we also know that you cannot prevent it, and that's not how it should be addressed. See, ഒരു ലൊക്കേഷൻ്റെ, ഒരു സമൂഹത്തിൻ്റെ, ഒരു രാജ്യത്തിൻ്റെ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു വില്ലേജിൻ്റെ, ഒരു കമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റിയുടെ പ്രോഗ്രസ്സിൻ്റെ, ഇക്കണോമിക് പ്രോഗ്രസ്സിൻ്റെ പ്രോഗ്നോസിസ് 3 ഇക്കണോമിക് ഫ്ലോസിലാണ് നമ്മൾ കാണുക. ഒന്ന്, the flow of people. The second, flow of capital. The third is flow of goods and services. Flow of capital, if I take, is a clear indication of our pradeshathinte future engane irikkunnu, because capital is needed to produce meaningful jobs. If you really want to put people at work, you need capital. ഒരു പ്രോഗ്രാം സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നതിൻ്റെ, ഒരു പ്രോജക്റ്റ് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നതിൻ്റെ സീഡ് അവിടെ നിന്നാണ്. സോ ദാറ്റ്സ് വൺ. നമ്പർ 2, if a place has to progress, a place is only as good as the people. So you should be able to retain and attract talent. എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് അമേരിക്ക ഭയങ്കരമായിട്ട് പ്രോഗ്രസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് വെച്ചാൽ, every person would like to go and get educated there and then work there. Not only their own best talent, the best talent from everywhere go to Germany, to Australia. Yeah. So that is so the flow of people is, or the migration is very important. Yeah. Positive way. And the third one is flow of goods and services, which clearly tells you whether you are a consuming place or a producing place, or well-balanced or uneven or whatever. You cannot be a consuming place alone, because for you to consume, you have to, somebody is giving you from outside perhaps, that's why you're consuming. Now, ഈ മൂന്നും നമ്മൾ കേരളത്തിൽ നോക്കിയാൽ slightly expanded ആയിട്ടുള്ളൊരു ആൻസറാണ്. If you look at the flow of capital, if you take the last 3 years, the entire capital that came to our country, our share is less than 0.04%. Kerala's share. Hardly any investment came to our state. 600 million over 3 years. Number 2, migration. Our educated boys and girls, or the people with potential, is leaving and replaced by migrant labor. And we have roughly 35 lakhs of people here, and is expected to get to 60 lakhs, or 1/6 of our population by 2030. 2030 ഏതാണ്ട് 60 ലക്ഷം migrant ആളുകൾ. I am not against migrant people, or I am not against anything that we do good for them as good as we do for them. But if you really look at the prognosis and the goods and services, ഇപ്പോൾ വളരെ എളുപ്പമാണ്. നമ്മളൊരു കൺസ്യൂമർ സ്റ്റേറ്റ് ആണോ അല്ലയോ എന്ന്, ഈ GST വന്നതിന് ശേഷം ഇൻ്റർ സ്റ്റേറ്റ് ട്രേഡ് നമുക്ക് വളരെ കൃത്യമായിട്ട് കിട്ടും. കഴിഞ്ഞ വർഷത്തെ FY 22-23, we had goods coming to Kerala to the tune of 1,50,000. നമ്മുടെ എക്സ്പോർട്ട് ഫ്രം കേരള ഈസ് 55,000. 1,00,000 കോടി ഡെഫിസിറ്റാണ് നമുക്ക്. ദിസ് ഈസ് ബാലൻസ്ഡ് ബൈ അവർ റെമിറ്റൻസസ്. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നമുക്കൊന്നും നടക്കില്ലല്ലോ. പുറത്തുനിന്ന് കിട്ടുന്ന റെമിറ്റൻസസും ഒക്കെ വെച്ചിട്ടാണ് ഇത് ബാലൻസ് ചെയ്ത് പോകുന്നത്. സോ ഈ 3 ഫ്ലോസ് നമ്മൾ നോക്കിയാൽ വി ക്ലിയർലി നോ ദ പ്രോഗ്നോസിസ് ഈസ് നോട്ട് ഗ്രേറ്റ്. അത് നമുക്ക് പല രൂപത്തേക്കിടെ അത് കാണാം. കാരണം ഗവൺമെൻറ്റിന് ഫൈനാൻസസ് ഇല്ലാതെ വരിക, ടാക്സ് കളക്ഷൻ കുറയുക, നമ്മുടെ പല കാര്യങ്ങളും മീറ്റ് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ടുള്ള പൈസ ഇല്ലാതെ വരിക ഒക്കെ ഉണ്ട്.